Train the muscles, not the joints. So welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about cables versus free weights. Now, here's the thing. My hair is down right now, not because I'm trying to look pretty. Just so you know, I actually just took it out because I was doing a old man storytelling bit. Let me tell you the story of the first Gallantian. Many moons ago, there was a man. Not much of a man, but a man. And he went up into the forest on a quest to prove that he was indeed the greatest semi-man. On his journey, he encountered many, many obstacles. Some obstacles were extremely dangerous. There were battles with sticks, rocks, and many vicious, small and furry creatures. There were even bunny rabbits that were brown instead of white. There were also slimy things. As this semi-man ventured deeper into the forest, he encountered an adversary much bigger than he thought possible. This adversary was the mountain. And because he knew the limitation of being a semi-man, and a semi-man could not overcome the adversary of the mountain, he knew the only answer to his problem was to become a mountain. Mountain. It's pretty deep stuff, I know. It's just super deep, but it's actually high because mountains are high up, not deep. If I was talking about the ocean, it'd probably be deep, but depends on which part of the ocean, I guess. So yeah, let's get back to cables and free weights. The benefit of free weights is obvious. Lots of people lift them and put them down. And of course, gravity opposes this action. And from doing so, there is tension put on the muscles and the overall system builds in coordination because you have to balance at the same time and all that sort of thing. But the thing is with cables that I really like is that the cable offers constant tension throughout the movement.
Come on, man, grow those biceps, man. You gotta get those biceps big, man.
There is more of a distributed tension throughout the muscle throughout a larger range of the motion. So therefore, I find cables very effective as something to add to your training, which many of you are doing. But for instance, for me, because of my shoulder situation and the partial bicep tear that I got from many years ago, I find that cables work really well when it comes down to bicep curls and stuff, because I find that for some reason my arm moves a little bit differently now, so I could actually keep the tension on the bicep at a higher range of the motion instead of just doing the standard sort of dumbbell thing. I find dumbbells feel awkward to me now. I can still do them, but I find that with cables, I get the distribution of that energy and that tension throughout the movement much more effectively. So I get a really awesome pump from it. And I use heavy weight and lighter weight from time to time. Now this would be an example of very inefficient ways of exercising. As you can see, Exhibit A, somebody has round wheels. Now, I don't understand this, but for some reason, the Santa Claus in the front is exhibiting square wheels. Now, I don't quite understand how Santa Claus gets in everybody's homes and travels the world all in an instant with square wheels. And I don't understand how a guy that has so much genius to be able to manufacture all the toys in the world and get to everybody's homes so fast in one night, how he is not seeing how square wheels are a problem. I'm just analyzing how Santa Claus is an idiot because he's riding a bike with square wheels. I'm getting this on film because I just don't understand how a guy that's smart enough to get around the world all in one night in everybody's homes, and he does this on square wheels. How does he do that? Yeah, Santa Claus is mentally challenged, I guess. I didn't realize this, but or he's incredibly strong in the legs because he's getting those square wheels to go around. He's holding up his arms. He's trying to tell him something. He's saying, hey, Santa, you're trying to ride the bike with square wheels. Like, what are you doing? I think Christmas of 2018 is doomed. Any way that you can stimulate the muscle from a different direction is going to be very effective. It's going to be a good idea. So don't worry about getting too stuck in doing one type of movement or another, because again, types of tension also matter. And yeah, there is some argument for elastic bands out there because it's a different type of tension. It shocks the muscle from a different point of view. Of course, that said, I do feel that free weights are the best way to have an overall foundation in your training toolbox. You want to use free weights more often than cables, but at the same time, the cables can help you hit those muscles that you just can't hit. You just can't get the right angle. It feels like no matter what free weight exercise you do, you just can't get that right angle where you're getting that mind-muscle connection. Well, sometimes the cable can be the trick, such as the lunging tricep extension. I love that one. Or say even, say you hook up the cable to the machine and then you do overhead tricep extensions with the cable behind your back. That's a great one too, right? Because the tension is different. It's not straight up and down. It stays on the tricep because the tension is more at an angle, and this helps keep that tension on the tricep the entire time that you're doing the work. The reason why you might want to use cables instead of free weights in some cases is because sometimes the free weight version of an exercise is hard on the joint because most of the tension is at the bottom range of the movement or in an area where your joint is taking the most tension. But with a cable, sometimes the tension is distributed differently, so that way there's tension that's taken off the joint and more of it is transferred to the muscle. So you're gonna have to go on feel on this. But yeah, this is something that you need to incorporate. I find my favorite cable movements are bicep curls, not just with the bar like this, but also with the two handles. You hook them both to the bottom of the cable pulley machine, right? And then you basically step forward and then you do a version of an incline curl for biceps. And that's a very effective way to keep that tension on the biceps, get a little bit of a stretch in that muscle belly, and really build the mountains of the biceps, or the bicepitosis, the bicepitosis, bicipites, biceps. It's getting cold out here. My ears are freezing. I'm gonna have to kill something to make a hat. My cat better behave today. He has a lot of fur. He'd probably make a good hat. If it gets any colder, he should be worried. What? So another one of my favorite exercises for cables is the tricep press down, obviously, because I do find that it's a really effective movement for getting those triceps. And because I trained in my home garage for several years and then went back to the gym, I could see that there were some advantages to using some of the cables at the gym. And it was even more pronounced because I noticed some of my development in certain areas was not quite as pronounced as to once I started using cables along with my free weight type movements, such as close grip bench and so forth. So another movement I really like is the lat pull down. And I like also the lat pullover, where you're basically doing the lat movement where you're taking a bar or the ropes and you're pulling it like this towards your waist, which basically helps work the lats. I really like that as well. So the final movement that's really good with cables is also your external rotator cuff exercises, because the tension is constant throughout the whole movement, right? Whereas the dumbbells, it's kind of hard here in the beginning stage when you're in the stretch position. That's where you get the most torque on the rotator cuff, and then when you come up, some of the tension leaves. Now with a cable, you get the tension throughout the whole movement of the external rotation, so I find that it might be a more effective external rotator cuff exercise for some people, so make sure you try that out. So I hope this helps you out with your training, and if you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com, and thanks a lot to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Oh yeah, any of you guys who want to join the Natural Gallant Bodybuilding group on Facebook, you better know the answers to the questions, otherwise you're not getting in, because I'm sick of these getting in there and spamming their all over the place. So you better know the answers to the questions, otherwise you're not getting in, man. You're not getting in. You see that? See that up there? Mountain.